Hello everyone, welcome to JS Cakes and my name is Deepak. Here in this tutorial we are going to be talking about dependency injection in Angular, and we are also going to be talking about this design pattern. So what is dependency injection per se? So dependency injection is a design pattern used to achieve inversion of control by providing dependencies from external sources rather than creating them within a class. This promotes loose coupling, testability and maintainability in software application. Then you may ask why we use dependency injection. So dependency injection is essentially used because we want to reduce dependencies between components. That's the first use case. Maybe the second use case is improve the testability, which means that it makes it easier for mock dependency and unit test cases. The third use case is basically to reduce the impact of changes in one part of the system. And also the fourth and the most important use case is the component can be reduced in different context. So what do you mean by that? The functionality which is shared between multiple components, you can actually write it in one place and use it in two different places by using dependency injection. That could be one of the implementation of dependency injection. So now if you look at our code base, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be creating alright, so in our use case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be creating one particular service. So the name of the service is going to be shared service, and in that service what I'm going to do is the moment I click on or I input all the values in case of an about component, I will try to save that in the shared service, and the same service would be used to provide the similar data which is saved in the about component in the home component, and I'll display the home component and I'll display the entire data in the home component. So this is the basic use case which I'm going to be developing now. I'll quickly take you to the Chrome browser. What I mean by that is that here if you look at this particular application that we have been working on that while, it has two tabs, a home tab and an about tab. And about tab, the moment you input all the details here, such as the way I'm inputting right now, the moment you submit on it, what I'm going to do is I'll just save that in the shared service, and once you go to the home component, I'll display whatever which was saved in the about component. As of now, these two components are absolutely independent and they're not really sharing any data. So let's just dive quickly into the code and start writing and making this particular shared service. In order to write the shared service, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be running a command. So nggs vi service, and let's just create a shared folder, and the name of the service is also going to be shared. So what will happen that inside the app, it has now created two files. One is the spec file, the other one is a shared service file. And if you open the shared service file, you will notice that it has already provided you a keyword which is injectable and provided in which is at the root level, right? And then this is a shared service. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be writing a particular function in which the moment you click on the submit, I'm going to be saving that detail here. So let me just write and now what I'm going to do is I'll also write down a function in which I'll just return this particular form details which is saved at the line number 10. So let's just try to quickly put this in action. So let's just go to about component, which is here, and let me import the service here. So before I import, there is another thing that I want to bring your attention to, which is how you can import or how you can inject services, inject a dependency inside a component. So there are essentially two ways to do it. The first is the constructor-based dependency injection. The other one is the inject-based dependency injection. So I'm going to be talking about the constructor-based first. So in order to do that, what I'm going to do is I'll just define the constructor first. And whenever you define a service which is injectable or a dependency injectable dependency, you need to declare it like this. This is the way I'm declaring. So first of all, you may have to provide the access, which is a private, and let me just make it as shared service. And let me fix the import quickly. And what I'm going to do is like I'm going to be making use of on click, as you can see here. First of all, it's going to be doing the alert, and post that I'm going to be saving the data like this, right? And the next I'm going to do is like I'm just going to be opening the home component here, and in the home component I'm going to be injecting the same service with the help of a constructor. And let's declare about form data, and I'm going to be and right after this I'm also going to be displaying it. So let's say if you have the about form data, I'm going to be alerting the user, which is like this, right? All right, so the code for this is completed. Now let me quickly take you back to the Chrome browser, and here in the Chrome browser, this is a very simple application that we have been building all that while. So now let me click on the about, and the moment I click on about, the form opens up. Let me key in the details. I'm going to be keying in the details pertaining to my user profile. So let me make it like this, right? And I'm going to be submitting it. It'll alert me and say that these are the details I'm going to be saving. Click OK, and the moment you click on home, now you can see that the form data is this, which is the detail which was saved in the about section. This is essentially coming from the home component, and then loads the home component. Let me take you back to the code, and what I'm going to do is like I just display the same detail instead of an alert, but inside the template. So how do I do that? It's fairly simple. I come here in the home component, and I'm going to be displaying the details such as and the detail is essentially the student. Detail is essentially the about form data, and let me just display it right here, and I'm going to be displaying it with the JSON pipe. So please understand, ladies and gentlemen, for now I have just displayed this as a JSON. This is a pipe, and this is something which you are going to be talking about in a short while. Please understand, just in case if you want to display the JSON, this is how you essentially do that in your template. And how it is done, what it exactly is, we are going to be talking about it in the next chapter. But then just understand for now that this is a pipe, JSON pipe, built-in pipe from the Angular framework. That's what I am using in order to display the about form data, about from detail, data. So let me, in order to do this, I also have to import the common module, because JSON pipe is part of the common module essentially, right? And I'm also going to be making it a little bit better. Let me write it down, an if statement. So let's say if about form data, that's when we are going to be displaying this here. Otherwise we are not going to be displaying anything, right? And let me remove the alert which I put in here. Let me save this. Now let me take you to the Chrome browser, and let's see if that works. Let me click on the about section once again. Let's say 23, submit form, click OK, go to the home, and there you go. Now you can see that the details which was saved in the about section is being displayed here in the home component. So that's how essentially you can share the data as well between two different components inside an Angular application. Please try to understand that the injectable decorator over here inside a service which tells us to provide this injection at the root level. There is also a deeper concept behind this which is called a context tree. So context tree is something which we are going to be seeing whenever we will develop an application ground up in a short while. That's when I'll explain what injector T is all about. But for the beginner, it is pretty much important to understand how it is done here in this case, right? So this is about the constructor-based injection, dependency injection rather. All right, so this was about the constructor-based injection. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to be displaying you another way of injecting details inside a component, which is the inject-based. Right, in order to use that, what I'm going to do is I'll just go to the about component once again, and here instead of declaring that inside a constructor, what I'm going to do is I'll just try to use an inject keyword and try to declare that particular service. So let's just copy this bit here, and then let me import that from the core. Similarly, what I'm going to do is I'll go to the home component, and inside the home component, instead of declaring that here inside a constructor, what I'm going to do is I'll just put the same thing outside the constructor and using the inject function. So let's just declare this here. Right, so I'm just going to be defining inject over here, and then if this function let me import that from the core, save it, and now let me take you back to the Chrome browser. And here the Chrome browser, I'll take you back to the home, the about component first, and let me key in the details here. Submit form, click OK, and then let's go to the home. And here is the shared service. You can see that nothing comes up. Let's just go back to the VS Code, and here the VS Code, we have just taken a service. We have not really assigned this particular value over here, right? And I'm going to be removing this bit here, and from this shared service get method detail, I'm going to be assigning this from the shared service to about form data, right? And now let me take you to the Chrome browser once again. Let's just go to the about component. Submit form, click OK, go to about, and there you go. You can see that all of these details are shared from about to home, and this is a singleton service that we have injected at the root level, and that was done through provided in property of service. All right, so now we are done with it. Let me take you to the code again. So that's all, ladies and gentlemen, for the injectable services for this chapter. And in the next chapter, we are going to be talking about more advanced topic of Angular. For now, I think this is enough to understand, and we will know more about it, and we will try to cover the more comprehensive use case when we design the application. Thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen, for listening. And if you're liking my work, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also hit the bell icon in case if I post a new video, you would be notified. So thank you once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be seeing you in the next one.